It happened with Angel Marr.
All right, Paul Hopkins.
Good to be here.
Amazing.
Good to be here.
Amazing after all these years.
It's been a lot of years,
Actually-
Daniel and you, and like, man, back in the 80s, like crazy, right? It's been a long time. It's been a long
It's
time.
good to see you, my brother.
Yeah,
We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, I guess, in this next, we have, what, an hour? An hour?
I'm here as long as you need me.
I know it's a little warm. This is the other podcast we've done, we had the fire going. So this is first time with the garage door open.
Okay.
Some breezing, birds chirping.
It's working for me. I got my shorts on. I'm good. It's warm, but it's not so bad.
I got a wool shirt on. I'm dying right now. It's okay. So, you got Haunted House Creations going.
Yes.
We're gonna probably try and in the second part of this podcast, we're gonna probably try and get into your workspace and see what you got going on. But what's the last thing you've done? The latest thing you've done that whether it's on film or in an exhibit somewhere in
The last thing I did was Beau is Afraid. That's a new Joaquin Phoenix movie. We did all the animatronic work for that movie. It was the largest movie we worked on. It was wonderful because my neighbor, who is in the shop beside me, he gets me to do work for him, and he just said to me, "You want to work on this movie called Desperation Boulevard?" It was called at the time. That was the working name. I go, "Sure." I go, "What are we building?" He goes, "A 14-foot tall giant penis." And it has teeth and it moves and it's and I go, "Well, that sounds interesting." I go,
No
"What
problem.
do I got to do?" He goes, "You just got to make it move," right? And I said, "Well, that I can do."
So which way? What is? Just curious. Does it move like? Is it limp and then it gets hard, or is it
No, it stands straight up, but it has full motion, left, right, up, down, and it's
like
got
a penis should?
Yeah, like a penis should. Giant testicles,
Should have full
and
motion.
I don't want to give away any things about the movie, but it was interesting. And then they made the penis in the shop next door, and then they gave me the shell to make all the animatronics that went inside of it, and it was massive. I mean, it was like I say, 14 feet tall, 17 feet wide. It was huge. So the mechanism we made was a massive 8-foot long rig that was manually movable. Then they used radio control to do the head tilt and movement and all that stuff. And then the jaw and mouth movement. And then they had these arms that...
Penis with arms.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be like a dream sequence thing. It's a bizarre movie. It's weird.
I think
movie.
I had a dream of a vagina with legs. I think chasing me once. Fuck, was I running fast?
It's something.
But a penis with arms.
It's the strangest
And
thing I've
teeth.
ever done. It's the strangest thing I've ever done.
It's the strangest conversation we've ever had.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I agree. And it was, but it was a wonderful job. They gave me lots of time, and Steve Newburn, the one who was, upheading the job, is a wonderful guy, and he gave me the opportunity to work on a big budget movie, which was amazing.
Wow.
I mean,
awesome.
I worked on TV shows and stuff and all that, but this is like the largest thing I've ever done, and that was last year.
That's amazing. I remember like when you first started doing this, you had the old hearse.
Yes.
Do you still have that?
No, I sold that.
What was it, a 60?
It was a 56
Or 56.
Ford hearse. Yeah.
That was so cool. I just remember you pulled up, and at that point, I think you had it was just skulls, right?
Yes.
And then from that, man, you've taken it this far. Only you could do that, man.
Well, I mean, it's been a long journey. I mean, 20 years. And exactly, I started out in my garage and started making skulls that talked. And they caught on. I had got a distributor in the United States, and they caught on, and they buy like 200 of them a year.
That's awesome.
And then they just started to
Yeah.
progress into different models and versions and stuff. So we have like 30 different versions now.
I don't think that like you and I ever talked about how you got into that. Did I ask you that? I can't
No,
remember. With you, I'm never fucking amazed. You just show up, and all of a sudden you're either you're the engineer at an amazing studio, or before that you were building go-karts. Like
Yeah.
you're a very smart guy, Paul.
Well, I
Paul
don't know about
Hopkins.
smart. I mean, it's the people
You are,
around you
yeah.
that kind of make you who you are. Because I mean, I can't do any of this stuff by myself. I need a crew that help me. So, without them, it wouldn't come to fruition, right? So it wouldn't happen. So
Well, look, you know what?
you know.
What's his name? The guy with the cell phones there. Okay, I don't keep up with this, but they came up with the idea, and then they got everybody else. They don't build the actual phones, but you're a smart guy. Okay, stop it. You're very smart, very intelligent. Other
I'll
smart
take
guys
it.
I know. You're one of the top guys there.
I'll take it. You know, I wish I was smart and rich. That would be better. But I'll take the way the way it's going now is good. I mean, you know, we're lucky enough to be able to now have a base of clients that I don't have to go look for work anymore. They just come and ask me if I want to make something between, like, TV shows, movies, mostly but haunted houses mostly, and escape rooms a lot of. We just finished a giant dragon for an escape room.
Wow. Did I tell you? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Paul.
no.
I was in the West End one time. I don't know if I told you the story, but I ended up. I don't even know if it was around like Halloween time, if it was October, But anyways, I was in the West End, and I ended up in this place where they had all this Halloween masks and what do you call them?
Animatronics.
Animatronics. They had all that stuff, and then so I see this guy in an electric chair, right? I can't even remember the owner of the place, but I said, "Wow, that thing's," and so he made it go, and it was just, we were blown away. So I said to the guy, I go, because I knew at that time you were into it, right? You were
Yes.
into doing it. So I said, by any chance have you heard of a guy named Paul Hopkins? He goes, yeah, he's the one who built that. I went, motherfucker, man.
Yeah, you were probably at the Amazing Party store, and that's, I think, where I got it for that. I used to make props for them.
In the West End, right?
Yeah, in the West End. Yeah.
Wait, what was that guy's name again? And is he alive still? Because I think when I talked to him, he said he was ill.
Yeah, he said he had cancer, and he had a beard, long hair.
That's the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the guy.
Is he
And
okay?
he's okay. I still keep in
good,
touch
man.
with him, and for some reason his name is escaping me. But it might come to me after.
It's okay.
But like.
How long did it take you to build that guy, man? That was fucking nuts, Paul. I couldn't believe that, man.
It took about a month.
I mean, I could believe that you built it, yeah.
Yeah.
But a month to build it,
It
eh?
takes about a month. I mean, it depends what you're building. Some things are more interesting to build than others. Like some things you build because, some things you build because you want to, because you would say, oh, this would be a cool job to build. And some things you build because the job's there and they're paying you, good money to do it. And then you say, well, I'll take it on, even though it might not be something you're 100% interested in. Because I like building things that are interested in. I don't like going back and building things again, even though I should. Because
Absolutely. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it.
I like just to move forward and say, okay, I've done that. Let's do something new, right?
Well, that's why I'm like, you've been doing this now for how long?
20 years.
You see, because I know that when you get into something, you're into it for whatever, and then that expires, and then you move on to something else. So I'm pretty, like, I was like, wow, he's still doing this, so that's good. But I mean, it's got to be fun, right?
It is.
So
it is fun. I mean, the hardest part is, like, I love every job I do. Like, I really put everything into it. I'm passionate about it. I really enjoy making the animatronics that I make. The hardest part is that you can't do everything yourself, and you're not. Crew can come and go, and you have people that are very good, and then they leave, and then it's like, we got to kind of start over a
you
little bit.
got to fill
again.
in that void.
Exactly, and it happens more than I'd like it to happen. So that sometimes brings down your high. You say, okay, we're in a good space, everything's good, we got a good crew, and right now, I mean, we have multiple jobs and multiple people wanting me to do jobs that I don't know if I can do them.
Just so many. Like,
so many,
overwhelmed,
exactly.
yeah.
Like there's just too much work to do.
Because I know you just expanded, right? You were first
Yes.
at your home. You
Yes.
were working in the back, and now you have an actual
shop.
a shop where you. How big is the shop?
It's 1,700 square feet. It's getting to be too small, but I don't know at this point if I even want to go to the point of expanding anymore.
It's amazing how fast it fills up, right?
Yes.
You see a spot there, and you're like, I could put that machine
That's
there. I
right.
could put this there.
Yeah.
I get it.
And we buy a lot of used props. So I'll go out and, like, people will call me that have haunted houses because they know I'll buy everything. So, well, because they know I'm the guy who's gonna, because I can resell it all, right? So I'll go in and I'll say, okay, we'll take it all, and then that way they don't have to piece it out or they don't have to do things like that. So I go out and I buy haunted houses and then I buy the stuff, refurbish some of it, and then just resell it.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's the easiest thing to do instead of going through the molding and casting and all those processes that it takes to make some of these things. Because some of it can be long and tedious work. Like the dragon we just did, we had to, make an armature to hold 300 pounds of clay. And then we have to put the clay on top of it. We have to sculpt it.
Yeah.
And then after it's sculpted, we have to make a giant mold. You open the mold, you take everything out. Then you have to put it all back together again. Then you have to make an armature to go inside it. And then you cast it. And then you make all the animatronics that go outside of it. So it's a long, tedious process that it takes to make all these things. And a lot of people don't understand, because a lot of people come and say, oh, do you have this? Do you have that? I said, no, it's all custom. Like, we do make those things, but they don't sit on the shelf like Walmart. Everything's custom because a lot of it's very difficult to make.
So that's basically the client comes up to you and says, listen, I want a 14-foot cock. It's got to do this, that sort of penis, right, whatever. And it's got to do... Yeah, that's crazy. And then you just got to build it.
Yeah,
That's it, man.
Like TV shows too. Like we made the Nightwing sticks for.
That's what I was going to ask you. What else have you worked on?
We worked on Titans. We worked on What We Do in the Shadows. We work on that show. We worked on several shows. Some of them I can't talk about right now because
they're in progress.
Yeah, things are going, so I can't say anything. But mostly in the last year or so, because COVID's over and the haunted houses and escape rooms are coming back, that clientele's coming back. So, and they're asking for, because the escape rooms are becoming much more technical. They're becoming very, they need to be more robust and more fun for people than just opening locks, So they are asking us for very high tech props. Like we did last December, we did 4 animatronic owls.
Oh yeah,
very Harry Potter like, for like a wizard world escape room, and they were
that's
expensive.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah.
I could imagine. Like, what I'm hoping to do is maybe we can come up to your shop where you're working, and then do that in the second part of this podcast.
Yeah, it would be great.
So yeah, and also maybe in post we can put in some of the things we're talking about, like the electric chair guy.
Yes.
Maybe we can put a little clip of that. So.
And we do have props at the shop right now that people like, so that way your listeners will get a better idea of what I'm talking about, right? They can actually see the progress and the people there working on the things that we do. And,
absolutely, man.
And we could even, activate some props as well, make them do their thing, whatever.
Yeah. And they can visit Haunted House Creations, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Haunted House Creations.
They can go on there and check out the more stuff. So they can buy products from on the
website. Yeah, we do sell from our website. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Most people, they do, but it's like most people want to do. Most of my clients know me, so it's like they know what we're capable of, and they just say, okay. Like I just got today. They want me to build a gas station.
That's all. Just build me a gas station, please.
Yeah, it was just a quote coming in.
What year would you like?
Yeah.
Just a gas station.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. That was like an hour ago. I got the email. It was from the Ontario government. They want a haunted gas station.
So your thing is more animatronics. So somebody like Rick Baker, that's more makeup guy, right?
That's right.
So you don't.
We don't do prosthetics and makeup.
You're on another side.
We
of that.
do the animatronic side of it. Yeah, so when you go to do prosthetics and makeup for applications where you do like maybe say the Grinch,
right,
that would be makeup application.
Yeah.
So they would take a life cast of Jim Carrey, and then they'd sculpt all the Grinch face, and then they would have people that would apply that to him on set, and then if they had something say like Chucky. The doll Chucky, so the TV series, so that doll would be an animatronic,
right?
So that would require puppeteers and animatronic people. So animatronic people would make. So that would be something that I would do. Right?
I got you. I was just wondering in your department if you guys did that as well, right?
No,
like we need
No, we stay away from that.
So it's just strictly animatronics
and static props too. So if they want a static zombie that just stands there.
Now there's no blueprint to this stuff, right? Like somebody says I want this, you got to come up with start from bottom to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I do CAD drawings. I do 3D CAD drawings and stuff. So, because a lot of things, like if you make something and then somebody says, "Oh, make me something similar," then it's like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
I made that 6 months ago. I have no idea how I made it, and I didn't do a drawing or anything. Then you're back at square one again.
Gotcha.
So now I
Okay.
make sure I try to do a drawing.
So the certain application can apply to what something. Okay. Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Like physics is the same. So like anytime you have a movement of 3 or 4 bar linkage, it doesn't matter what it does, but they're all built the same. So it doesn't matter what you're building, whether it be an extender or a lifter, the linkages are all the same. So they just are in different applications, and you make them differently. You just have to understand the
I got you.
the dynamic of it,
Yeah.
right? How it's gonna work together with what you have to make. You know?
That's amazing. So it's got to be fun, man. It's got to be keeps your brain going anyway. Keeps you.
You're always on your toes. I mean, right now, before I came here, I was making tipping barrels.
Okay.
40-gallon drums, they stand on top of each other, and they look like they're going to fall and tip over. So that's what I was doing there. So I was lifting barrels, putting them on top of each other, adding pneumatic cylinders.
Wow.
And then, so what happens when somebody walks by, it looks like they're tipping
gonna
over.
fall,
They're going to
yeah.
fall on you, but then they just reset.
And
So
that's for
for a haunted house, yeah. It's for a haunted house.
I was gonna say I wanted to bring up Casaloma.
Yeah.
You do stuff there. Do you do some there every year?
No, Casaloma I used to do Casaloma years ago. That I do a bit of work with Casaloma. Fort Henry was my big gig. Fort Henry in Kingston. I do Screamers, Martino Manor. So all the haunted houses in Toronto. It's really, I don't do a lot for Casaloma. I'm not sure why. Well, I do know why. They hire people from the United States. So they hire
that right?
American people to come up here and do the work for them. But I have been called many times to do work. So I have done work for them.
Right.
But they're like, I'm not on top of their list to call.
Yeah, I just thought
Their
that,
haunt is good, though.
I thought you did a lot of work there for some reason. I don't know why. I
No.
think maybe every time I ran into you, I just always remember Casaloma coming
Yeah,
up.
well, years ago I used to do Casaloma, but now, like the last 13 years, my biggest gig was Fort Fright in Kingston, so Fort Henry, and they went away for a couple of years, and then
Did you
this
say
year,
Fort Fright?
Fort Fright, yeah. So it's Fort Henry in Kingston. It's a large, massive fort. It's
Wow.
pretty amazing, actually. It's like you can't build that, you just can't. Right on the lake, it's on a hill. It's amazing. It's a beautiful place to work. And they went away for a couple of years because the Ontario government they make lots of money off haunted houses, but they don't like it. I'm not sure how to put it. It doesn't fit with their demographic, I guess. Like, they're saying, well, the fort is a historic site and this is a haunted house, but this is what keeps you going. The money you bring in from the haunted house is what makes you able to stay open. So, everybody that works on it, they love it and they enjoy it. And they get like 25, 30,000 people a year go through there. But they stopped it for 2 years and they brought it back because they realized that, well...
So when you do something like that, you got to go on location, right?
We go on site for 16 to 20 days.
So do you have like a setup where how can I put it? Where you take a whole crew with you? Like
Yep.
you guys, you have
Yeah,
your tools on wheels?
Yeah, exactly.
will.
I load the whole shop
Wow.
into a trailer, and we go for 16 to 18 days straight. We get hotels there, and
Nice.
I mean,
That's awesome, though.
it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I have to admit, I really enjoy doing the on-site work because it's a lot of fun. Because especially the clients I deal with, they give us complete control over what we're doing. They just say, "You guys we're hiring you to do a job,
Beautiful.
and you guys know what to do. We're not." They give us a little direction, but in the end, it's really our baby. So
Nice.
it's kind of nice to go in there and do whatever we feel.
Let's talk about some memories now.
Sure. Yeah.
Master Tracks.
Yeah.
We got to do a couple of numbers that actually people really dig, man. Like Wishing You Well, for example. That was I can't even remember how I came to you with that. I know that we always we hung out in the bar together, and
Yeah.
you were always part of the band somehow, some way, shape, or form. But I think when did you start working on Master Tracks? When was that? Was it early? It was the early '90s, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
it was early '90s, like probably like I'm trying to remember exactly. It might have been early 90s, like 89, 90, 91, something like that. But
And you were there for how long, Paul?
for 7 years.
7 years,
7
right?
years, yeah. Until then I went to McClear Place, which was not cool.
Another big studio.
Yeah, the
McClear
studio,
Place?
McClear Place, bought Master Track, and because the owner, he wanted out. He just wanted to do something else. I mean, he was a very rich guy who owned Master Track, and he just wanted to do something else. So he sold it to McClear Place with the deal that they would keep everybody employed for a year, and
Right.
then because McClear Place was a music studio, and
That's
Master
right,
Track was a post audio studio. So two completely different things. So going to McClear Place was I didn't like it at all. I tried to go to Sounds Interchange after that, but it just things were changing in the you were engineers were no longer fader pushers anymore. They were in the box, right? So Pro Tools. So everything was Pro Tools. Everything was in the box. Nothing was like these big consoles were going away, and the only thing they used those big consoles for were like major motion pictures and stuff. So
Well, I remember walking into your place and you were like, "That's $100,000 hard drive." Remember that?
yes, yeah.
And now it's like what?
It's nothing.
It was, and it was tape we were recording on.
Yeah, we recorded on
Sorry, but it
24
was-
track,
that's
but
right.
we got the first Pro Tools rig that was in Canada.
So that's what I was trying to remember, that if that crossover happened when you were at Master Track. So it did go from analog to digital, right?
Yes. When I started at Master, I actually got very lucky that I went through all three phases. When I started at Master Track, it was film. So
Yeah.
everything was done on film and what they call dubbers, and these dubbers would roll these 35 millimeter tape. There was audio, and we were in a back room, and I would run the film projector, and in the front, he would be pressing record on a 3-track recorder in the back, and then we would just run the film back and forth, and I would move dubbers back and forth.
They just give you the keys to the place here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
And then it went to 24 track, and then that
Yeah.
was like amazing because we all had time code and interlock
That's right.
instead of pilot tone was gone. And then from there it went to digital, and that was when we got the Pro Tools rig, and we were the first company in Canada to get the 16-track Pro Tools rig. It was like
Wow.
we had the first 2-track,
Yeah.
and that was like mind-blowing that you could actually cut and edit things and put it together without taking a piece of tape and
With
splicing
and a
it.
razor, yeah, that's
and
right.
a razor, and it was like that was like a game changer in itself. But 0 is 0 in digital, so you go over 0, you get distortion. That's what I missed about that, because when you had tape, you could hit the tape, and you could go past 10 and still get sweet, because you could saturate the tape and get sweet sound. Where with digital, as soon as you go past 0, you got distortion. So that was the great thing about being able to record, like especially guitars and things like that. You could get that crunchy sound from just hitting the tape hard, which
Yeah.
you can't do. With
Yeah,
digital.
we all love the warmth of analog upsuit and the tape. What else I want? What do we do at your place? We did Wishing You Well. We did, I think, Still My Crazy Friend. We did.
Yeah, and
Piece It Together.
Piece It Together. Yeah, and
Okay, try and refresh my memory with this. I remember we locked 2 24-track
That's right.
machines together, didn't we? Where did we do that?
you're remembering more than me.
Well, I'm trying to remember the music part. That's
Yeah. Well, we were in the second floor studio, and then
Was it in the same building then? Sorry,
Yeah, it
Paul.
was in the same building.
Okay,
So there was 3 floors, so we had a studio on each floor, and then we locked the 24 track in the basement
Wow,
to the 24 track on the second floor.
What I put you through, brother.
It was fun. It was a blast because music
You're the best.
was not my forte. Post audio was my forte. So my chops were not like, I was learning really. But it was a lot of fun to do the music part, because it's, to create music is a wonderful thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, post audio is awesome too, to, add sound effects and, all those type of things, to make movies come to life is amazing.
Absolutely, man.
But music
The
is a
soundtrack.
whole
Gotta have the
different
soundtrack.
thing. Yeah, soundtrack. Yeah. So, and those songs were, I mean, to us they were like real. You know what I mean? Like, when we were in that studio, you wrote them there, like you were writing there, and we were,
Yeah.
it was all coming together. You were doing bass tracks, and Chris was doing, like, it was just it
was,
became.
I'll never forget it. Yeah.
It became what it became just in that studio, which was amazing.
And that a big part of that was you, because you said, "Hey, I'm here. Just come on,
Yeah.
man. Bring your stuff." And yeah, that was awesome.
Oh,
It
it
was
was-
really great for me. I got to tell you that. Like it was that was so amazing of you to do that. To just go, Andrew, what do you got, son? Just bring the songs. Come on,
Yeah.
we'll do it. We'll record them. I'll never forget that, man.
Because it was fun. You guys are my friends, and I had the ability and the opportunity. The studio was at my grasp. They told me I could use it anytime I wanted.
great.
So it was like, why wouldn't I? Like, say you guys were musicians that needed a help.
Yeah,
you know?
it was great.
And the
When we
fact
had
that I
some,
could help was amazing. And I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't a better engineer.
Oh, you did great, man.
You know?
You did great. They sound great. We haven't touched them, and even when I went out west with Paul Dean from Loverboy,
The recordings were good. That's
yeah,
for sure.
we went into Mushroom Sound and didn't touch those ones. We just mastered them.
Yeah.
What else did I want to talk about?
I still think those songs should have. I thought that they were good enough to get you guys to the next level. I thought they were really that good. You know, I really thought that they were something. You know, so that's why I was like, I kind of felt like I was part of it all, because it was like,
Absolutely.
because it was so like we were all like, we kind of connected really well. You know, like we worked really well together. We connected well, and
Absolutely.
it went like. There was, there's no fight. I mean, I worked with bands that I kicked out of the studio. Like I kicked them out of the studio. They were just fighting and arguing and fighting and arguing. I'm going, fuck off. I'm doing this for free. You know, what are you prima donnas? Like, you know, you're, you know, like just get out, right? Like I couldn't take it anymore. I was going, why are you guys like? You have an opportunity here to do something. You just
We had lots of fun. Well, we had some brouhaha, right?
yeah.
A little bit of beer and whatever. Let's fucking record some songs.
Yeah,
you got a song? No, let's just write one. All right, we'll just write one on the spot.
Yeah, and we won't mention anything but the beer.
Well, I remember for backing vocals, we just used whoever was there.
That's right.
There was a few girls.
Yeah.
Come in. This is the key. Just sing.
Yeah.
You're flat. Just sing a little sharper. That's
Yeah.
it. Perfect.
And some of them were good.
We did what we had to do to get it done.
Some of them were good, though. Some of those girls were good. I mean,
And you had that vast sound effects library.
Yes,
Remember?
we had
Whatever.
everything.
Paul, I need somebody farting out of their
Yeah.
fucking arm. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got it.
yeah,
Remember, we're just done.
yeah. We had
I
everything.
must have drove you nuts back then. I know. 'Cause
No,
we
it was.
did- how many versions of Always?
You know what?
Love and Thunder we did.
Love and Thunder. That's
with
right.
Bill Bell,
That's
guitarist
right,
Bill
yeah.
Bell from Tom Cochran, and
That's right. I
everybody else.
forgot about that. Like, because the thing is that I got up every morning to go when we were going there. It was like a joy to go, because it was such. You guys didn't make it like it was like we were doing something hard, or it was a job, or you were trying to
we're
be
creating.
superstars. You were creating something,
everybody's having fun.
and it was fun. And so like, I never wanted to leave. It was like, you know, when it was done, it was like, oh, let's do some more. You know.
Well, like I said, brother, it was a part of my life I'll never forget, man. I really enjoyed it, and the songs are there, and they'll always be there.
Yeah. I still have the
And
24
that's
tracks
because of
if you
you.
want them. I have the 24 tracks if you want them. I still have them.
Well, you never know, man.
Yeah, I mean, just the tape alone.
Well, you know what? I took a couple of reels I had, and I brought them to I can't remember the name of the studio. Just I'll never remember it. But I saw he had a 24 track machine. It wasn't even hooked up or nothing. And he said, "Oh, I haven't used dust on it." And I said, "Man, if you could transfer, I have the 2-inch reels. If you could transfer them to WAV files, that'd be fucking." I said, "I'll pay for them if you need to get the machine fixed. I'll pay for it." And the guy said, "No, I think it works pretty good." And then we just kind of just said, you know, let me know what you want for it. And he said, "Okay, just bring me the reels. If you kept them in good shape, then they don't have to be baked and all that shit.
Yep.
Then yeah, well, let's roll them and we'll try it." Fuck, sure enough. But the response I got from the guy was, "You've been working on digital for so long that when you put the tapes up and roll them, you said, I forgot how fucking great analog sounds, right?"
It's
But
like
yeah, with
nothing
the
else.
with
you
the
know.
tapes you got, maybe we
Yeah.
can do that. Yeah,
I
who
mean,
knows?
that's the idea, because like I have some tapes from Master Track. Like I have an Orson Welles recording that was him in the studio. I've got a 1/4-inch tape of that was him in the studio and losing it on them and walking out.
Orson
like
Welles.
absolutely losing it. It was Orson Welles, and I kept that tape, and I would like to get it on digital somehow, because
And that's from Master Tracks?
yeah. And so as far as I know, it's the only one that exists.
How long was Master Tracks there for? Were you, prior to you being there?
I think it was there a total of 15 years. So
Oh,
it was there a
okay.
while. Like it was there a
Yeah.
while. And the only reason why I joined, or the reason why I went to that studio to learn, like when I went there, I knew nothing. And I went there on a government program at the time. I think it was called Futures. And so the government paid for me to go.
I always wondered how you ended up there.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. Okay, cool.
But
man.
it was, the reason why I went, it was the best studio in the city. So everybody I talked to, and at the time my girlfriend was working at Sounds Interchange, which was the biggest music studio. She goes, well, if you want to do post audio, Master Track is the place you go.
Awesome.
Everybody goes there. That's the place. They got the best engineers, the best everything. And then I started working with Jeff White, who is the best post audio engineer in the city. But he was I grew to really appreciate him and like him and respect him because he was amazing, but he was a complete tyrant. Like I worked for him because nobody else wanted to work for him, but I worked for him because I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
But he would flick cigarettes at me. He would yell and scream at me. But you know what? I learned.
Yeah.
I know people today would say, "Oh, that's unacceptable," but I learned everything I knew from that guy, and I learned a lot, and I learned it fast. You know, because he wouldn't allow you to be anything but the best.
Right.
Like, if you weren't,
Well, who was the Wallace sound producer guy?
Fuck.
Spectrum. Phil
Phil
Spector.
Phil Spector.
I mean, that guy was a fucking nut.
he was a nut.
But you know, he was in big demand, right? He
That's
knew what
right.
he was doing.
He was a nut.
apparently. But
Apparently.
Anyway.
But yeah, I tried to buy a 24-track machine actually.
When was this?
A few years ago, but what's happened is they've become back in favor. Like when
Yeah.
digital came, everybody was throwing them away, and that would have been the time to buy. But
Wow,
now they're
man.
back to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 depending upon which machine you want it. So I was like, cause I thought, it'd be nice to have a 24-track machine, but
And what's his name from Nirvana, the drummer? What was his name again? I can't remember anything anymore.
you're
He,
like
he
me.
records on 2-inch tape.
Yeah,
What's his name, Dan? Are we all losing it,
Yeah.
man?
he just
What happens? We get in our 60s and that's it.
just
Who,
died.
what?
He just died.
No,
right?
no, he's very alive.
Oh, okay.
Very
Oh, I
alive.
thought you were talking about the drummer.
Fighters, Foo Fighters.
Yes, exactly.
What's his name, man?
Because yes. Oh, you talking?
Dave Grohl.
Dave
That's
Grohl,
it.
yeah.
It's scary, eh?
Yeah, it's very scary. This is what happens when you. Well,
It's
I'm
scary.
60, so I don't
It's
know.
scary, man.
But
I'm right there with you, brother. Right
yeah,
there.
I know.
Right
I
there.
can't believe it.
Yeah.
But I started playing guitar too. So I play guitar. I play bass. I got a Jaguar, Fender Jaguar, Kurt Cobain guitar.
Wow.
I've got a.
You never
custom-
cease to amaze me, man.
But I'm not good. Like I'm not good. And
That means you're good.
No, I'm not. I'm not good. But I like to play. But I'm left-handed, so it's a drag.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you just every time you go to
Jimi
the guitar,
Hendrix,
you go to the
Kurt Cobain.
guitar, you go to the guitar store and you can't. There's nothing to buy or play. Right?
Yeah, I
There's
thought
just
that-
none. Like you go over here to the
Wow.
Danforth, and they go, "Where's your left-handed guitar?" There's the one up there. It's like- but I got lucky. I went to
Bill Feeney was left-handed.
Bill Feeney. Yeah, absolutely.
Billy Feeney. But he could play the guitar.
Both ways.
Yeah. Nuts, man.
I know.
And when he played left-handed, the strings were upside down.
I know. He did that for. I remember being at the arcade.
I miss Billy.
And so do I. I remember being at the arcade and him doing that, playing upside down. It was amazing.
Fuck.
He was a very, very good guitar player.
I miss Billy. Yeah.
But he kind of just. He
Yeah.
just went away.
He went to Perfola, and that's it.
Yeah, he went. He didn't. I guess it was like being a musician. I mean, I don't know the feeling that you guys have, like, because you guys were in a band and you guys did very well, you know, as Angel Marr and that. Like, I can't imagine that feeling of wanting to make the big time and striving for it all the time, and how hard that is for you guys, you know, to struggle that all the time,
Yeah, well,
especially when you're young. You know?
Sometimes it got in the way, right?
Yeah.
Instead
well,
of just focusing on what you're doing, you always got somebody, hey, I know this guy, and you should be, it's like, yeah. But anyways,
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, man. And it was what it was.
Yeah.
It was all fun.
But it was
I wouldn't
fun.
change a thing. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
Great times, man.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did a lot. I mean, I wish there was more video and more footage of you guys. I really do. Like, I wish there was more pictures of all us guys and stuff, because there's just so
stuff
little
around,
of that.
Paul.
There's stuff, but there's not a lot. I mean, there's stuff. But
I got some stuff on you, buddy. Don't be
I was
surprised.
gonna say, hopefully
I had
that's
some
bad, because we did have some bad moments.
I'll hand some over to Dan, and he'll put it up, man.
We did have some bad moments. You know, Well, I mean, we were drunk. We did a lot of drinking.
A lot of drinking.
A lot of
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Actually, in one clip I was watching, you're going, you know how much I spent? You're sitting behind the console. There's empty 2.4s everywhere, and you're like, yeah, cheers last night, man. I left at about 2:30, 3. You know how much I spent? I think you said so. It was like $200.
Yeah.
And back then, the beer was like, what?
Yeah.
$2.75. Now, it's over $5 for a beer,
Yeah.
right?
I
So-
drank too much.
Yeah, we drank a lot.
I drank too
We had a lot of fun, man.
We did.
A lot of
Yeah,
fun.
we
So
did.
much fucking fun. And on that note, my brother,
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
it's beautiful to see you. And let's not end it like this. I want to continue going to your shop, see what you do. Have a
Absolutely.
walk around.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come in there and we will show you around. We'll activate some props, show you what we do, how we do it if you want. Like, it doesn't have to be long, but we can.
Yeah, we'll just make it
Yeah.
the second part of this. We'll
Yeah,
make it the
absolutely,
continuation.
yeah. And it might be at my new shop because I'm going to be moving in 2 months.
All right.
Yeah, we bought a house in Newcastle that has a shop. So
Well, maybe we'll come by where you are now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And then we'll come back to your new shop.
yeah,
man.
it's an hour away. So
All right, my brother.
yeah.
I love you, man. Thank you for coming by.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's get Dan's hand.
Dan,
in.
yeah.
Dan's hand. It's
Great.
funny because Paul's nickname, I used to call him Palm Olive.
That's right.
Right?
That's
And,
right.
You know, everybody's saying, you're soaking in it.
That's right. Paul Olive.
Do you remember
Where did that even? I didn't know where that came from.
That's how my brain
Yeah,
works.
I know.
There was a buddy of mine named Jim. I used to call him Gymnasium.
Yeah. Well, you're an artist.
I'm
That's
just
why
fucking-
you're an
I'm
artist,
not-
and that's what artists do, right?
I remember drinking Palm Olive one night. That's another episode. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I
Well, you were there that night.
I do.
You were with me when with Charlie Watts.
Yes, that's right. That was like the best night.
We got to continue this.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Charlie
continue
Watts,
in the
that
shop.
was the
That's
best.
right.
And I'll just leave it on this note. Charlie Watts leaning over to me and saying, "Please don't let him tattoo that into his arm."
That's right. Yeah. I got him to sign my show.
Yeah.
That's right. I said, Charlie, sign my show.
Yeah.
Okay, my brother. I love you,
All
man.
right. Thank
Love
you.
you very much, Paulie.
Thank
and
you.
we will get together in your shop and continue. All right, man.
Perfect. That was awesome.
Yeah, man.
That was fun. That was
I
really
think we
enjoyable.
covered a bit of ground.
We covered a lot. I mean, we did. I mean, we could go on for hours.